For decades we all knew what the peak of car performance sounded like. It was the roar of a massive combustion engine. But then this one car comes along and just completely flips the script. We're talking about the Rimac Nevera, the all-electric hypercar that isn't just making things a little bit faster. No, it's fundamentally rewriting the rules of speed itself.
And listen, that's not just some clever marketing line. That's a feeling you hear across the entire car industry. The Nevera didn't just show up, it arrived and immediately changed what we all thought was even possible for a car you can legally drive on the street. It's a leap in performance that honestly should have taken decades to achieve.
So where does all this physics-bending power even come from? Well, it all starts with some absolutely brutal, raw numbers. The original Nevera cranks out a staggering 1,914 horsepower, and it gets that from 4 custom electric motors, one for each wheel, working independently.
Now, what does that power get you? It gets you acceleration that is frankly difficult for your brain to even process. 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 1.74 seconds. To give you some context, that is quicker off the starting line than a Formula One car. It's just pure, silent, instantaneous thrust.
And it's not just a sprinter either. The Nevera went on to set a top speed of 412 kilometers per hour. That's 256 miles per hour, which made it the fastest production electric car in the world. It proved that electric power wasn't just about insane acceleration, it could dominate at the top end too.
So yeah, with these kinds of unbelievable numbers, the original Nevera didn't just join the hypercar club, it basically created an entirely new one. It set the absolute pinnacle, the new standard that every other performance car, electric or gas, was suddenly going to be measured against.
In the name, it's just perfect. Nevera. It's a name taken from these powerful, sudden storms that can pop up off the Croatian coast, often packed with lightning. I mean, what a perfect metaphor for a car that can unleash all of its immense power in a split second with truly shocking force.
But how in the world is this all possible? I mean, having a ton of power is one thing, but actually controlling it and putting it to the ground is a whole other challenge. The secret? It's all in the core engineering, the very anatomy of this revolution.
Okay, so the key to the Nevera's insane control isn't just what it's made of, but how it's all put together. The heart of the car is this massive carbon fiber monocoque. Think of it like a single, incredibly strong but lightweight tub that forms the car's skeleton. But here's the brilliant part. The H-shaped battery isn't just bolted in. It's a core piece of the structure, adding 37% to the car's stiffness. This makes it the most torsionally rigid car ever made. That just means the car's body absolutely does not twist or flex, giving the driver total confidence under forces that would bend a normal car in half. So if that carbon tub is the skeleton, then all-wheel torque vectoring is the brain. This isn't your average all-wheel drive system. The Nevera has this central computer, this digital brain, that can send a super precise amount of power to each individual wheel, all on its own. That is the secret sauce for turning all that raw power into usable, controllable performance. And this brain is incredibly fast. It's making new calculations and adjusting the power going to each wheel 100 times every single second. Because it's working that fast, the car is always a step ahead of the driver, constantly optimizing grip before you could even possibly feel the car start to lose it. All right, so you've created the car that rewrote all the record books. You've built the definitive electric hypercar. What could you possibly do for an encore? Well, if you're Rimac, you build the Nevera R, a track-focused weapon designed to push those boundaries even further out. Which really brings us to the main question, right? When you've already built what seems like the absolute pinnacle of performance, how do you even begin to improve on it? Well, the answer isn't one simple thing. It's about re-engineering pretty much every key system on the car.
And the results are just staggering. I mean, look at these numbers. The 0 to 60 time drops to 1.66 seconds. The top speed climbs to over 431 kilometers per hour. But the real monster metric here, the one that tests everything, acceleration, high-speed stability, and braking, is the 400 kilometer per hour run. The Nevera R shaves over 4 full seconds off the original's record. That is not an improvement. That is a demolition.
So, how'd they pull it off? For one thing, aerodynamics. The Nevera R gets a new fixed rear wing and a totally redesigned rear diffuser. Those are the fins underneath the back that manage airflow. Together, they generate 15% more downforce. That's literally the air pushing the car down onto the track, which means you can take corners faster with way more stability. And of course, there's more power, a lot more.
The engineers found more potential by tweaking the battery chemistry and upgrading the power inverters so they could handle more electricity. And the result? An unbelievable 2,107 horsepower, giving you even more relentless crushing acceleration all the way up the speedometer.
But listen, power and aerodynamics are totally useless if you can't get that performance to the road. And that's where these new Michelin Cup 2 tires come in. They were developed specifically with Rimac, and they have a much stickier rubber compound designed to work perfectly with that retuned torque vectoring system. It makes sure every last drop of performance actually makes it to the pavement.
So what does this all mean? The jump from the Nevera to the Nevera R isn't just about smashing records for the sake of it. It's a huge statement about where car engineering is headed and the absolutely relentless pace of innovation we're seeing in this new electric era.
And that whole attitude, that comes straight from the top. The company's founder, Mate Rimac, he makes it crystal clear. This is not the finish line. This culture of constantly pushing forward means that as insane as the Nevera R is today, it's really just another stepping stone to whatever they're dreaming up next.
And that kind of leaves us with this one big, fascinating thought. For 100 years, the chase for more speed was all about internal combustion, a hurricane of controlled fire. And now, a storm of precisely managed electricity is proving to be faster, smarter, and way more powerful. It really makes you wonder, what's the actual absolute limit? Is there one?
The story of the Rimac Nevera is really a clear signal that the future of performance isn't coming anymore. It's already here, and it is absolutely electric. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.